robbed Alicia, one of the most connected and feared women in the game. It wasn't just about the money, this was personal, risky, and reckless. But what does this mean for Reg now? Because in the South Side, every action has a price and someone always pays. Reg's been through a lot in the Chi, from being a street soldier to trying to grow into something bigger. We've watched him walk the line between power and survival, but now, things have taken a dark turn. For those who haven't been keeping up or need a reminder, let's break down how we got here. Reg is no stranger to danger. Back in earlier seasons, he was Douda's guy handling business, keeping order, on the streets, and doing whatever it took to protect his people. He was smart, loyal, and always had one foot in the game. But over time, that loyalty got tested. We saw it in how he dealt with people like Jake, his little brother, and how he balanced being a mentor with staying alive. Reg wasn't perfect, but he was trying to grow, even if the streets wouldn't let him change. Now in Season 8. We're seeing a different Reg. He's older, a little colder, and clearly tired of being used. The power he once had doesn't feel the same. He's no longer just Douda's muscle, he wants more. That hunger for power or maybe freedom is pushing him to take risks he wouldn't have taken before. Then comes Alicia. She's not some side character. She's a serious player with connections, money, and a reputation that even Douda respects. Alicia's not someone you cross unless you're ready for war. So when Reg decided to rob her, it wasn't just bold, was nearly suicidal. We don't know the full details of the robbery yet. Whether it was planned carefully or done out of desperation, but we do know this, Reg didn't just steal money, he stole trust, he stole power. And in a place like Chicago, that can be more dangerous than any gunshot. But why Alicia? That's the big question. Some fans think it was about sending a message. Others believe Reg saw an opportunity and took it. Maybe he thought Alicia was slipping. Or maybe he just wanted to prove to everyone that he's not scared of anyone, not even a woman like her. But whatever the reason, the move was loud, messy, and impossible to take back. Now, with this robbery hanging in the air, Reg is in a dangerous spot. He's made an enemy of someone who knows how to move in silence and strike when you least expect it. Alicia has money, soldiers, and patience. She doesn't need to react fast because she knows her revenge will hit harder when it comes later. At the same time, Reg isn't surrounded by loyal people anymore. He can't trust everyone. Some might agree with what he did. Others might see it as a threat to their own survival, because when one man makes a move that big, the heat doesn't just land on him, it lands on everyone close to him. In short, this robbery wasn't just a plot twist. It was a warning shot. Reg is tired of playing the background. He wants control, and he's willing to fight for it. But the question now is, what did he really start? And is he ready for what comes next? Now let's dig deeper. Why would Reg, someone who's been in the game for so long, risk everything by robbing Alicia? This wasn't just a random move. It came from something building up inside him, we've seen slowly growing all season. To understand Reg's mindset, you have to go back a bit. He's always been the muscle. The one who handles problems for other people, whether it was Douda, his crew, or his family. Reg was expected to be the strong one, the one who takes orders, gets things done, and keeps his mouth shut. But that role comes with limits. You can't grow past a certain point when you're just the enforcer. And Reg is tired of being stuck. Lately, you can tell he's been feeling boxed in. Douda's still running the show, pulling strings like he always does. Alicia's moving like a boss too, growing her influence and pulling in money and allies. Meanwhile, Reg is in the middle, watching others get richer and more powerful, while he's still risking his life on the streets. That kind of pressure builds frustration. And frustration that leads to dangerous decisions. It's also possible Reg felt disrespected. Maybe he saw Alicia as someone who looked down on him. Maybe she made moves that pushed him out, made him feel like he was being cut off, used, or replaced. Respect is everything in this world. If someone disrespects you, especially in public, you either handle it, or you look weak. And Reg isn't the type to just let it slide. Some fans believe this robbery wasn't just about money or revenge, it was about making a statement, a warning, a power play. Reg might be saying, I'm not under anyone's control anymore. I take what I want. That kind of thinking is dangerous, but it also shows you just how far he's been pushed. He wants to be his own boss, and this robbery might have been his way of forcing people to take him seriously. But there's another side to this too, fear. Not fear of Alicia or Douda, but fear of becoming invisible. Of becoming nothing. When you grow up in places like the South Side, respect and control are often the only things keeping you safe. Once you lose that, you're a target. You're replaceable. Reg might have felt like he was disappearing, and this robbery was his way of saying, I'm still here. The problem is, moves like this don't just affect one person. They shake the whole system. By robbing Alicia, Reg didn't just steal, he disrupted the balance. Now, Alicia has to respond. If she lets it go, others will think she's soft. And Douda, he's watching too. This act puts Reg on both of their radars not as a partner, but as a problem. And don't forget, Reg isn't surrounded by true friends anymore. He's got people who nod their heads and say yes, but loyalty in this world is shaky. Some of them might flip on him the second things get hot. Others might think he went too far. And a few, they might already be plotting behind his back. So the question is, was this a smart power move? Or a sign that Reg is spiraling? When you look at it all, Reg's motivations seem to be a mix of anger, pride, and fear. He wants more, and he's willing to take it by force. But he also might be trying to remind the world and, maybe himself, that he's still a major player. The problem, in this game, you only get one or two big moves before someone comes to collect. And Reg just used one of his. So what's really driving him now? Power, respect, survival. Maybe it's all three. But whatever it is, he's made his move, and now, the clock is ticking. Reg made a bold move. But in a world like the Chi, bold moves come with big consequences. As soon as Reg walked away from robbing Alicia, the clock started ticking. Because in the streets, when you rob someone with power, you don't just take their money, you challenge their name, their pride, and their position. Let's talk about Alicia first. She's not the type to respond quickly with emotion. She's calculated, strategic, that's what makes her so dangerous. People like her don't yell or panic. They get quiet and then they strike when you least expect it. So while Reg might be walking around thinking he made it out clean, he doesn't realize the trap might already be closing around him. Alicia is likely already making calls. She's connected to the kind of people who don't care about talking it out, they handle things quietly. She won't just want her money or product back, she wants to make an example out of Reg. In this world, power is built on fear. If people see that Alicia can get robbed and not respond, that's a sign of weakness. And she can't afford that. At the same time, Reg has put himself on Douda's radar again and, not in a good way. Even though Douda has used Reg in the past, he's not a man who respects wildcards. Douda likes control, and Reg just created chaos. That makes him unpredictable, dangerous. And we know Douda doesn't keep people around who make him nervous. The scariest part, Douda and Alicia might have more in common than we thought. We've seen them work together in the shadows before. What if they decide that Reg's becoming a problem they both need to handle? Reg might think he's outplaying them, but, in reality, he could be walking straight into a setup. Then there's the street-level reaction. Word spreads fast in Southside Chicago. If Reg's robbery becomes public knowledge, people will start taking sides. Some may see him as a hero, someone who stood up to the big players and took what he felt he deserved. Others, they'll see him as reckless. A man who's bringing too much heat and making everyone around him a target. This could cause serious tension in Reg's crew. His people are already under pressure. Now that Alicia and maybe even Douda could be coming for them, some of his guys might not want to ride with him anymore. Loyalty is a tricky thing. When things get real, a lot of those day ones disappear. They start answering different phones, meeting with enemies, feeding info, and when that happens, Reg could be walking straight into betrayal. We also have to think about Reg's little brother, Jake. Even if he's not directly involved, Jake is in the line of fire now. Alicia doesn't have to go after Reg to make him suffer, she could go after the people he loves. That's the kind of silent warfare people like her play. Reg might have thought this robbery was about him and Alicia, but in the aftermath, innocent people could get pulled into the crossfire. And here's the thing about the streets, once blood gets spilled, there's no going back. One retaliation leads to another. And soon, it's not just about the robbery, it's about survival. Reg didn't just start a fight. He may have started a war. There's also the chance the police get involved not because someone calls them, but because violence always brings heat. One shooting, one public hit, and now the cops are looking into everything. Reg's move could put the whole neighborhood under a microscope, which means even the people who had nothing to do with this might turn on him just to keep the peace. So, what does all this mean? It means Reg has no room for mistakes now. Every step he takes has to be calculated. He has to figure out who he can trust fast. Because the game has changed. He's not just a soldier anymore, he's a target. The robbery gave him a moment of power, but it also painted a bullseye on his back. And in the Chi, nobody stays on top for long when they're moving alone. Right now, Reg is walking a tightrope. One wrong move, one bad decision, and it's over. The only question left is, will he double down? Or will he realize too late that he just made the biggest mistake of his life? Now that the robbery is done, and the damage is spreading, the real question is, what happens next for Reg? At this point, Reg has 3 roads in front of him. One leads to power, one leads to redemption, and one leads straight to death. The way he moves in the next few days, maybe even the next few hours, could decide everything. Let's look at the first road. Reg goes all in. No turning back, no apologies. He doubles down, gets more aggressive, and tries to take over. This version of Reg is ready for war. He starts building his own crew, makes new alliances, and challenges the system. If he chooses this path, it means he wants to become the top dog, take Douda's place. Shut Alicia down, and control the South Side on his own terms. But this path is bloody. And lonely. If Reg pushes forward without thinking, he'll lose people. Maybe even Jake. And in the end, the throne he's chasing might cost him everything. We've seen this story before. You get to the top, but there's nobody left around to celebrate with you. Then there's the second road, redemption. Reg steps back, realizes the damage he's done, and tries to fix things, maybe not for himself, but for the people he cares about. He could try to broker peace, give Alicia back what he took, or even go underground and disappear for a while. This would be a huge shift for him. He'd have to swallow his pride, maybe even admit that he acted out of fear or anger. But is Reg ready to do that? Redemption takes strength, not just street smarts. He'd have to rebuild trust, repair broken relationships, and walk away from the power he always wanted. It's possible, but it's a long shot. Because regret doesn't erase mistakes. And people like Alicia, they don't forgive just because you say sorry. The third road is the one nobody wants, but everyone expects. Reg doesn't make it, whether it's betrayal from someone close, a hit from Alicia's crew, or a setup by Douda. Reg's life is in real danger now. He's not safe anywhere. Not on the streets, not at home, not even in his own circle. Every move he made this season has brought him closer to the edge, and now, all it takes is one push. We've seen this in the Chai before. Characters we love, people we rooted for, taken out too soon because they made the wrong call or trusted the wrong person. And with the way things are heating up, Reg could easily be next. The way the camera lingers on him, the way characters talk around him, the pressure he's under, it all feels like a setup for something tragic. But let's be honest, Treg isn't easy to kill. He's sharp, he's been through worse, and maybe, just maybe, he has one more move left. A final play that changes the game again. What if he flips the script? Turns Alicia and Douda against each other? What if he finds out something they're hiding, some dirt, some betrayal, and uses it as leverage? Reg is a survivor, and survivors don't always fight the loudest. Sometimes, they fight the smartest. He might lay low, gather intel, and strike at the right moment. Or maybe he disappears, fakes his fall, and comes back later when no one sees it coming. If Reg can think 2 steps ahead and trust the right people, he could flip this from a downfall into a comeback story. But time is running out. The enemies are closing in. Trust is running dry. And Reg's heart, it's carrying too much anger to see clearly. That's what makes this next move so risky, because when your emotions take control, your enemies don't have to fight, you will destroy yourself. So now we ask, can Reg survive what's coming? Or is he already too far gone? Reg made a move that changed everything. But in the Chi, the streets don't forget. And they never forgive. What do you think comes next? Does Reg find a way out? Or is this the end of his story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk theories, alliances, and what you would do. If you were in Reg's shoes, the South Side is watching. And so are we. Asterisk.